Hello Virgo and welcome to my channel. We are going to cover your final sort of 2020 December reading. My readings are kind of timeless, so even when you get to this it'll be labeled for December, but the reality is we're just taking a snapshot of the energies that are available to us right now. And energy is fluid, so it's not like, ooh, as soon as we hit the end of December that this energy is gonna shift or no longer be present, because we all take time to process emotion. It's not like or even to make decisions, like when you open up the fridge, sometimes you just stand in front of it and stare at it, and it takes you a moment to like figure out what it is that you went in there for in the first place. So it's much like that. I don't like to waste too much time. So we'll start with 3 cards for your person, 3 cards for you, 3 cards for the energies that you can expect moving forward. We'll get some clarifiers, and we'll finish it off with an oracle card. No muss, no fuss. Get it in and get it out. Guides, guardians, and spirit. Please show me with clear discernment, clear guidance. The things that our Virgo collective needs to hear, see, for their December 2020 reading. The true set being speech be known, and everything else come straight from the divine. So for 3 cards for that person, 3 cards for them, and what they can expect moving forward. All right. Okay, look at you. Ah. All right. All right. Well, it seems to me that you're in the middle part of this story, Virgo, because if we look at your previous reading, there was lots of happenings going on, and in this reading, we get the High Priestess here, we get the Judgment card here, and we get the 5 of Cups. So the High Priestess, I use the Celtic Fairy Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. It's one of my oldest decks as well. So the High Priestess here is a card of, sometimes there are hidden meanings, and your person may be hiding what it is that they're feeling because of the judgment they may be fearing from you. So they're hiding information, or this really does feel like they're hiding what they're feeling because there was a previous dysfunction that they may have, excuse my language, but they may have fucked it up in the past. And so now they're hiding how they feel about you, because what I am feeling is a bit of cockiness on their side. And in that cockiness, they chose to treat you in a way that was like really not in alignment with your energy. And now they're kind of feeling like, oh, I told them I didn't want them, or I told them that I wasn't ready, or I told them things that weren't really true because there were many other things going on, and I was being a bit cocky. But the reality is that cockiness was born of insecurity. And it really, based on the cards that you have on your side, the insecurity has a lot to do with you standing in your own power. So it's kind of like, Virgo people can it's almost like, I'm an Aquarius, and Virgo people, in my opinion, are very similar to Aquarians in the sense that they are deeply spiritual, and they kind of march to the beat of their own drum, and they really won't accept anything less from the person that they're interested in. They expect for you to respect them, adhere to boundaries, be spiritual and really be bringing your A game if you're going to present to a Virgo person, because they are kind of like the hearth tenders, the people who want the happy home and family most. So they're very discerning or choosy, because if they choose you, they want the relationship, they want the family, they want the whole, the whole 9 yards. They're not just going to choose willy-nilly, but you've got to measure up. Well, this person really feels like they didn't measure up in the past and then started acting, excuse my language again, like an asshole. And now they're hiding how they actually felt at that time because of the judgment. Here is that Five of Cups, which is the crying over spilled milk, or really focusing on things that you can't change, things that have already been spilled. So they're really stuck in their head about the ways that they behaved and things that they feel that they can't change with you. For good reason, because on your side, you really are looking towards a new love, a new offer. Not necessarily. So this Ace of Cups is usually a new love offer, but it doesn't hit me that way. The way that it's hitting me is more like you are now refocusing your energy on the love offer that you intend to give yourself. So it's like, off to the side with you. I'm at a stalemate emotionally with the Four of Cups, where it's like I'm not really willing to move forward with this connection, but I am going to re-energize my own self, and I am going to love myself and focus a bit on my own stability, because I don't want energy like yours coming back. Now, this person does want to come back, and I do feel like whether or not you're in communication with them or not, because it feels like they have taken themselves out of the equation for now, which is also causing a lot of dysfunction for them. It's also causing a lot of fret and sort of sadness. This Five of Cups can also be a card of mourning. So when I see this card, sometimes when I see them in conjunction with each other, it's kind of like, oh man, I totally have screwed the pooch. And then there's a lot of reflection about how they wish things had been done differently, or how sad that they were about the way that things were done. But this feels like just mourning not, or regretting not telling you how they felt in the first place, and pushing you off and pushing you away in the first place, because you now have kind of drawn your energy back, or retracted yourself and said, like, I'm not going to keep chasing you. I'm not going to keep engaging in this connection. You are dysfunctional, and I don't really like that. That's really the energy that I get from these two sides here. Now, I do get the Strength card. I get the Fool at the Nine of Swords. So we talked about this whole like reflection and replaying things over and over. The Nine of Swords is also an indicator of that. The Hanged Man is here as well. What this tells me is that even though the feelings are strong with the Strength card, there's, as strong as this person's feelings are for you, that's also how strong-willed you are in your desire to say, I'm not intending to move forward with this, because you are so dysfunctional. Like, they haven't done any work to really shift the way that you feel about them. They just feel like so magnetized to you, or so strongly for you, and just as strong as their desire is to come towards you is your desire to like put up the wall and say, that's a no, be off with you. The Fool is here, which tells me that they're looking to restart over again. The Fool is also an indicator for me of time, and usually it means the new year, so I wouldn't be surprised if you heard from them on or around New Year's. I know that we're pretty close, but within a week or two time frame, because they're looking to sort of restart this cycle with you over again. And in their defense, it doesn't feel like a cycle, even though you have peeped it for what it is. They don't believe that they're in a toxic loop. they just believe that they got scared of how strong the energy or the connection was, or how sort of like powerfully you showed up, and that they ran off. Now the Nine of Swords is here, which tells me that has been a lot of reflection in between this coming forward and this whole wallowing in their own misery. But the Hangman is here, so even if they do come forward, or even if they want it, the Hangman being here says that the connection is at a stalemate. And that feels like, because when they come in, they do not tell you, like they don't peel back the onion with you. They want to do a temperature check, and it's like it's met with a harsh wall. So a temperature check is when someone comes in and they're kind of like, hey, because they want to see like where you're at, if you're going to respond, will you be kind to them, or are you going to bite their head off? Being met with a wall means like, oh, they're still peeved. Instead of coming in and saying, hey, I need to apologize, here's what the apology is for, I am apologizing, and will you accept my apology, which is a very adult thing to do. Your person doesn't feel like they're coming in that way, which leaves you not wanting to move forward in any way with them, because it appears to you that they haven't learned their lesson. So let's get some clarifiers. I feel like I just talked a million. If you Virgos have watched some of my other videos, you'll notice that very often my clarifiers are my clarifiers are the cards that I've already laid down. Or the clarifiers literally tell me the same exact thing that I just said out loud. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, so these are really just gonna reiterate the things that I've just said, but I'll tell them to you anyway. The Nine of Pentacles is here. The Nine of Pentacles, that is the thing that is hidden with our High Priestess. So your person is presenting that they are happy, that they're focused on money or finances. But here is that Four of Cups, and you have the Four of Cups on your side, therefore, and I said, if I see these two in conjunction, it means that this person is mulling over the way that they behaved or treated you. And here they are in conjunction, the Five and the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a bit of a stalemate. The Five of Cups is sort of a bit of mourning or sadness, focusing on spilled milk. But with all of this like hangman energy and you know, everybody's in a space of stoppage or slow movement, it tells me that they may be feeling, and that's why I said you're in the middle of your story, they may be feeling all these things, but I don't see a whole lot of action behind the feeling. So, just in the same way, this is wild, right? So here's your Four of Cups and here's your Five of Cups. In the same way that they've been focused on how things went down and just how poorly their decisions were and the ways that they chose to sort of handle the situation with you, that's equally as like you are doing the same thing. You're mulling it back over again and thinking about the ways that things went wrong and how you wish they would have been handled and how things would have been much more salvageable if you hadn't felt betrayed here with this Ten of Swords. And the betrayal is really about the way that they left, the way that it's not even that it was abrupt. If they needed to go and focus on their finances, then they could have been open and honest with you and told you that. But the reality is they pushed you away in order to, because they were scared of the connection and in order to save face, they're saying like, I'm doing wonderful. wonderful. My life is fine. I'm focused on my money. But the reality is underneath all of that, they're sad. Temperance is here for you. And it's with the Ace of Pentacles. And again, that temperance is like seeking balance. And we pretty much already said that earlier, where you're at the like, I'm trying to have you back in my life. This offer of love is one that I'm giving myself, and I'm really going to make myself a solid person so that I don't have to accept the BS. Well, that's what temperance says. You are seeking balance, and it's so that you don't have to accept BS, even if it's from this person who you are thinking of, or, you know, and that you kind of want to come back, even if you don't feel that right now. You would be satisfied with an apology, maybe not a restart of the relationship at this point in time because of all of this stuck energy. But if they came back and planted some seeds for deeper connection, you would be receptive if you had any inkling that they had shifted. Right now, they haven't shifted. There are a lot of thinking. They're trying to shift. Just not happening. The Tower is here, the Hierophant, and the Seven of Pentacles is here. So this person still hasn't had their Tower moment, which is why we get the Hanged Man at the end, this outcome. It's because they haven't fallen all the way down. They are sad. They are thinking about how things sort of fell apart between the two of you. But they haven't had that moment where their foundation is shaken and they have to rebuild. That's why they haven't come forward yet. The Tower moment here is imminent. It's showing on your person's side. It is coming. That needs to happen for them to have the sort of aha moment of like, man, I really did mess this whole thing up, and I really do want this person in my life. They think that way now, but there isn't enough of that energy to goad them into action. The Hierophant is here, and that is my card for deeper commitment or marriage. The Hierophant also is kind of one of those that's like a call to spirituality or a call to a higher power. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like your person sort of coming back with the recognition that there is something that's a little deeper than like, oh, this is just a relationship. The Seven of Pentacles is here, and that's the desire to plant seeds and tend to the garden and watch the things that grow. So that's where I feel that things will result, but it is a slow process here. If I were to make any snapshot of the action that you can expect from your person, it is minimal to none, not for a while. And when they do come in, it is going to be very, very slow. And there are some points in there that you're meeting them with resistance because they are not yet being honest. Oh. Mm-hmm. My Virgo people, I don't normally pull from the stones decks because they're not necessarily advice cards. They're more like, please carry me so that you can have a certain energy along with you. There you are. Carnelian is here. That is healing for the not the root chakra, the seat of creation. And chrysocolla, I think I'm saying that right. This is one of my favorite stones. I make a lot of jewelry out of that kind of stone. It just has a beautiful, like, we are the world sort of look. So these two stones would be vital for you to carry or important for you to carry. You can get them usually at your local pagan shop, or you can order them on eBay or Etsy. They're usually pretty easy to find. Carry them on you for a little while until you start noticing some change in your own energy. A lot of this can promote healing or unblockage, for grounding, for creation, things like that, which would help you keep your mind off of this myriad that isn't in movement just yet. Because you have some other things on your end that are outside of this person that you're working on, and it does feel like it's a spiritual journey that culminates in financial stability. And it seems to me that what I'm feeling with some of you is that you are kind of playing around with manifestation, and understanding how money is a super strategy or it's a form of energy, and how you can kind of play around with manifesting financial stability without having to do things that don't suit you. All right, my Virgos, thank you so much. I know that's like, hey, will you say more about that? No. You can email me if you'd like a personal reading. I'm going to start trying to differentiate and do readings for singles and readings for things outside of, your person this or your person that. And we'll start adding to the channel. It does, as we grow, and my apologies for not having all of those things like everybody now. If you liked this, give me a like. If you would like to subscribe, that would be awesome. Hopefully we'll see you soon, probably in about a week or so. And thank you. Goodbye, girls.